I put the walls in and then the brackets for the bed. Can I show you? The bed is gonna go right on top of this.
Last episode, let's catch you up. I installed my rivet nuts, my horizontal furring strips, along with my IKEA bed frame with headboard and footboard insets.
Before I get the rest of my vertical furring strips in, I wanted to see how this big bad boy fits into the space. Now you're like, Betsy, what's in this box? Well, we don't have a shower inside the van, but what we will have is a shower outside of the van. What I saw online and what I could tell is that this water tank doesn't sit well in the water well and that you have to raise it up. But it looks like raising it up an inch plus 3/4 still isn't enough. Okay, let's see if this works. We're gonna make this taller. So the reason I went with this water tank is because the water tank I really wanted was on back order for like 6 to 8 weeks. No one wants to wait that long, and I know that that date could probably also get pushed depending on how many pre-orders they have, is what I ended up going with. I'll put the name here. Yeah, if you look behind me, we're about to Frankenstein this build. As you saw maybe a couple minutes ago, I put thinsulate around my bed. I only ordered 10 linear feet of thinsulate. It is expensive. Paid somewhere around $100 just for that piece of thinsulate. So that's not something I can do right now. This is leftover from my floorboards. In the places where I can put flat insulation, I'm gonna do that. I'm going to need at least one more sheet of some sort of insulation. While we're here, let's just take a moment to acknowledge that yes, I am very fortunate, and yes, this is incredible that I've been able to get this far financially. Things are gonna get a little Frankenstein-y, a little different. I'm at the point where my budget has actually pretty much ran out. In the account that I've been using, I have $35 left. I know I'll be making a little bit of money that I can put towards the van, but this is like, we're pretty maxed out at the moment. How much I've spent on this project so far. I've spent another $5 at Ace Hardware, Amazon, Lowe's. Here is the total. Not looking forward to what that actual amount is. So I've also been really lucky, and I'm currently living with my in-laws, and my father-in-law has a lot of tools. So I was able to save at least a couple $100 by using some of his resources, and like things like Velcro and tape and some of the nails and some of the screws I already owned. So I've been able to not have to go out and purchase extra accoutrement. The people who are starting from scratch, who don't have resources, God bless your heart. It is a tough journey. It is so tough. Building a van is not easy. Back when I was doing the floors, I kind of had a little bit of a mentee beef, and I called in reinforcement. I was experiencing van burnout very early on in the build. So this is how far I've gotten in 2 months. People who are working and only doing this on weekends, do not stop. I've gotten this far and I feel so accomplished. I'm riding a van life high right now, and I haven't even taken the van anywhere. Not sure how or why, but my camera stopped recording. I swept up the house. It's looking real nice now. I mentioned that cutting this insulation is significantly easier than cutting thinsulate. At this moment, too many pros to insulation, because this, my friend, is R5. Thinsulate is like 5.2 or 5.6 or something. So there's still so much space behind here, and I'm kind of going back and forth of whether or not I want to put, at least in this area, some sort of inset like I did with the bed. So for storage while we're like on road trips or while we're eating, maybe for like books or my iPad, or I don't know. I'm kind of going back and forth right now about what I want to do with that area. The ideas are flowing and I'm excited. I was getting hand cramps when cutting the thinsulate for the headboard and the footboard. It's just crazy, that's all. Just making an observation. Chill, dog. Get back in there. Chill, dog. 10.5. 10.5 by 25 and a quarter. 10.5. 10.5. 10.5 by 25 and a quarter. Excuse me, you're in the way. 10.5. 10.5. 10.5 by 25 and a quarter. Every once in a while I wake up and I'm on one, so just gonna have to deal with it today. 10.5. 10.5. 10.5 by 25 and a quarter. 25 and a quarter. It is now many days later. I needed to buy a second bottle of the Loctite and some other accoutrements in this package, and that's another $28.85. I've got probably an extra $200 I can spend on this build, so things are really slowing down. I did also order some extra Thinsulate. I ordered another 10 feet from Van Life Outfitters. And that, my friends, was on sale. I want to say it was like $76 before tax. And I'll use that in the bottom areas of the van where the walls aren't straight. I left this Loctite in the van so it would maybe get a little warmer, but I'm seeing no performance difference. Just kind of sad. This Loctite stuff is holding pretty good as long as it's on a flat surface. That's the key, baby. I was just debating whether or not I wanted to do this, but I think I'm gonna wait for the Thinsulate. Because this rib here is really going to screw up putting this big extra piece of foam in. If I don't use every piece of foam, that's okay. I'm telling me, not telling you. Gross. It's done. So I'm cutting 15-inch support beams all through the top with the side with no cabinets in hopes that this will be a good way to attach the walls. We will see. I'm going into the overhead and then in front of the metal curve and into the 1x3 beam. Now you can kind of see why I was going so back and forth with the way that I was doing my installation of things. The insulation, I needed to know what I was cutting and put it in there before I could get these mounted. I didn't want these to be in the way. I mean, I don't really understand the logic in this. I guess once, I don't really know, because it wiggles, right? Yeah, I mean, I've watched countless hours of videos about how to do framing, but no one that I've found really explains what this is about. So let me be your trial and your error. So I guess you're just gonna have to stay tuned and figure it out with me. That one's not going anywhere. This is very confusing. I think I'm gonna redo these. I think I have to. Literally, that was a microscopic adjustment. That's crazy. If the screws are locked in all the way, then it pushes into the wood. The wood is soft. And I still get the little bit of a gap. So it seems as though I may have completely done this for no reason, or on the next two, I need to make sure that I don't push in the screws all the way. So let's try that. The screws are probably sitting right here and right here. I did not go all the way down because the wood is soft and it'll do that, and I don't want to risk that. So I'll just do a self-tapping screw in there and call it a day on that. Yep, so I'm gonna let the screws sit there. It's not moving, it's fine. But if I go down even lower with the heads, somehow it's pushing the soft wood into each other and making the height of this shorter. Day by day, the project is pushing on. I've just been finessing some last minute insulation things. Like, I've finished on the roof, but I haven't finished these two bits, so I need to get in there. I've started insulating the doors. You notice I have a split of like the 1-inch purple foam insulation along with the thin slit. Thin slit is, you know, where the parts curve. So here on the door, I plan to put some more thin slit down here. I just haven't gotten to it, and I think I might have a little bit of ADHD because I'm a little all over the place. I ran out of spray foam. I got to get like probably 3 more cans of that to fill all the gaps. I am getting some squeaking when I'm driving from this, but I'm hoping it's just this little area that's causing, once I put some foam insulation there, hopefully that'll resolve. Where are we now? Well, I've got all of my beams, my vertical beams for the top on this side where there's just going to be a wall. There's no cabinets going here. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to mount a vertical beam here for cabinet support. I've got a cabinet support going all through here and then cabinet support going all through here. Now, I've seen a couple different ways that people do it. I've seen where they just screw, they screw over this into it, and then they just screw or pocket hole right into that. I don't love that. I've seen this method, which works if I don't want cabinets. But this is what I've gone with. It's a 47-degree angle here, some pocket holes. And yes, it's not completely perfect and flush, but once I put those pocket hole screws in, it'll hold pretty good. I'm just gonna replicate that through here and rock and roll. Do you see that? I needed extra bracing for the water tank that's gonna go here. That's it for now. I think I'm just gonna go through and cut some more vertical bracing where it's needed, and the further I'm getting along in the process, the less I'm having to add and really kind of frantically troubleshoot. I think I'm getting the hang of it a little bit more. I'm ready to take this thing out. But I gotta get this place cleaned up, and I'm gonna throw some stain on this because I want to get the bed in. It's time to get the bed in. I want to take this on a little weekend adventure and just see how things go. I will eventually touch base on all of the framing I've done. I've got like 2 or 3 more boards to do, but I'm not having a lot of fun doing that. So right now I want to focus on staining, because as soon as I put the stain up in this area for the head and the footboard, then I can go ahead and put the mattress in and I can take it on that weekend adventure. The other stuff is all contingent on more money. This stuff I already have and I can make it work. I am going to be using a tack cloth. These things are sticky as crap to get all the remnants off the wood I'm staining. And then I'm going to be using the stain, just finish this up since I'm already here. And then I'll be using the stain Minwax Premium Oil Polyurethane Fast Drying Warm Stain. Wait, warm satin. I wanted ultra flat, but my location didn't have it and I didn't want to keep driving around. And satin isn't that much of a difference for this area, so. Million and one days later, and I'm still framing out the van. It's a budget thing, it's a time thing. What I'm doing right now is I've replicated the framing for my headboard and my footboard, and I am going to seal this in here with a couple additional accessories. So that way when we're on our road trips, we have a place to store things like books, iPads, and then maybe trinkets. Boom, bop, bam, the van is functional. The water tank is temporarily mounted and not taking up any space in my house. My removable IKEA bed is dressed with cozy, vibrant sheets and blankets. I'm finally able to load up all my camping gear and take this bad boy on a trip. My next video will be all about the electronics I've added to have a lush camping experience. And the video after that will be my maiden voyage in my half-built camper van. Thank you so much for watching me be weird and stressed on the internet. See you next time. Heart eyes emoji.